There's a lot of confusion when it comes to digital marketing. And when I talk to law firms, attorneys, they tell me a whole bunch of stuff that, that kind of makes me a little bit sad sometimes because they haven't gotten the service that they need, or they've been misled, or their marketing hasn't worked and things like that. And being somebody in digital marketing, I take the reputation of digital marketers very seriously, and I want to make sure that we have clarity and we have good service and we educate our clients really well and things like that. So with that in mind, I've created this series called the 7 Essential Digital Marketing Tactics for Law Firms. And in this episode, this is the second episode in a 3-part episode series. So if you haven't watched the first episode or listened to the first episode, I highly encourage you to go back and listen to the first episode. That way, you can kind of come in sequentially. I don't think it's necessary for you to do that. But it would be helpful. There are other things that I talk about. So in this 3-part series, in the first episode, I talked about the website. I talked about claimed listings. And I also talked about reviews and how to get them and all that kind of stuff. A lot of very valuable information there. In this episode, the second episode, I'm going to talk about SEO, content marketing, and email newsletter. And then in the next episode, I'm going to talk about social media and paid media and a way for you to use those media so that you can get the most for your marketing. So again, this is the 7 essential digital marketing tactics for law firms. So let's get started. Welcome to the latest episode of Corner Your Market podcast, now on YouTube as well. I'm your host, Sailes Kimire. In this podcast, I talk about all things digital marketing, from website design and development to SEO and PPC, as well as paid advertising, email marketing, social media, and anything in between. If you're a small business owner, a marketing manager in a company, or an entrepreneur, this podcast is for you. So tune in every Thursday at 10 a.m. You'll gain some practical insights, new strategies, tactics, and tools for your business so that it can grow. To subscribe, go to corneryourmarketpodcast.com and select the podcast app of your choice. Then you can hit subscribe within those apps. That again is corneryourmarketpodcast.com. If you're watching on YouTube, you can use the subscribe button below to subscribe and also like and also share. So with that, don't forget to like and share these individual episodes and my channel. And with that, we'll get started. So in this episode, we're going to talk about SEO. Now, SEO is not voodoo. I have been told by several people in the last 20 years that I've been doing this, 25 years that I've been doing this. They've said, hey, SEO seems a little bit like voodoo. I want to say SEO is not voodoo, and I am not a voodoo witch doctor. So let's put that aside. There is a science behind it. The only problem with that science is those on the outside, meaning those outside of Google, people like us, need to guess at what it is, right? So it's like the Coke formula. They've got it hidden in a vault somewhere. Nobody knows the Google algorithm, they'll tell you general parameters. This is what we like, this is what we don't like, but they're not giving you the point system. They're not giving you the details of what all that is, right? So let's kind of, because I do talk to people and they'll say, well, we worked with an SEO company, nothing happened, it didn't work, we paid thousands of dollars. And they'll say they spent thousands of dollars and things like that, and it didn't work. So I'm not here to, bash on anybody, but what I want to say is SEO needs a methodology. It needs a process, and you need to go through it very systematically, and you need to go through it with, you have to keep Google's guidelines in mind, but you also have to keep in mind your user, your clients, and all that kind of stuff, right? So I'll talk a little bit about on-page SEO. The on-page SEO is the stuff that you do on the website. This is like, to use a football analogy, I know we're in football season right now, but football analogies never go out of style, right? So the on-page SEO stuff is kind of like the blocking and tackling of SEO, right? That's what the linemen are doing, right? Those linemen, nobody talks about the linemen. Can you name a lineman? I can't name a lineman. I've been watching football for 42 years and I can't tell you a lineman's name, right? But they're the ones that are actually blocking and tackling and pushing things and making it possible for the quarterback to throw, for the receivers to run their routes and all that kind of stuff, right? The visible stuff to get the points on the board. So on-page SEO are things like, like your meta tags, your H1 tags, your alt tags, the keyword focus of the page, things like that, your schema markups, and all the different things that goes on the back end. Very important, but for the most part, if you do it well and you do it consistently, it'll open up the doors for you to really have some big wins. So on-page SEO, very important. I would make sure that you focus on that. The second thing on SEO is keyword focus, right? I can't tell you how many times I have to tell this to people. You can only optimize for 15 to 20 keywords, right? Meaning there's going to be permutations and combinations of those keywords, so you don't have to worry about that. There's going to be permutations and combinations of those keywords, so you don't have to necessarily worry about that. But, like if you're an attorney and you're doing DUI and felony or whatever it is that you're doing, criminal, just focus on that. Focus on those 3 or 4 words, different permutations of it. Your location, that's another keyword. Your name, that's another keyword. And then different combinations of things like that. You put all that together and you have a pretty concise list. And you want to use that across the board, right? So, hey, having a welcome statement, which is the H1 tag of your homepage, having a welcome statement that says, welcome to, my firm, that's a great thing that you said that, but there's no keywords in there, right? So you need to make sure your titles, your subtitles, the first sentence in your paragraph all have your high value keywords and your location. Because unless you're Johnny Cochran in LA and you are a highfalutin celebrity in New York and you need Johnny Cochran services, nobody's driving 5 hours to come to an attorney. Maybe in your case they are, because you're in a very specific type of law practice. But for the most part, people are looking for attorneys nearby, right? So if somebody's getting a divorce, they're going to look for an attorney in their city. They're not going to want to drive to a city 20 miles away. So your location keywords are important. And then your value-driven topics. Blog. I know people don't think blog's that exciting anymore, but blog's very exciting to me because it's your opportunity to keep your website updated, to keep valuable information flowing, to getting relevant, timely information. Maybe the laws have changed. Maybe there's an interesting thing that happened in the news. I remember working for an estate planning attorney many, many years ago, and when Aretha Franklin died, she didn't have a will, and so that became a really interesting topic for the estate planning attorney to talk about. Right? Here's a high profile celebrity dying with no will. I think it was Aretha Franklin. I don't remember. So much happens in life. You just kind of lose track of time. But answering common questions, explaining different procedures, processes, and also sharing a little bit about yourself, right? So maybe you're a hiker. I have an attorney that's a swimmer. He goes on swim meets in different parts of the world. That's a great topic to, just share. I'm not saying provide intimate details. I'm just saying, hey, swim meet in, Little Rock, Arkansas. Maybe that's where you're located. Maybe you're on the board there or whatever it is. Talking about that, what that does is it gives you opportunity to associate your name, your topic with a location and an event, which is really good for SEO. So provide useful content is really, really helpful. And then content distribution, getting your content distributed through social media, posting those blog contents. It just gives you something to share, right? If you're going to share an article, why not be your own article? Why have it be somebody else's article? Do you know what I mean? So content, it gives you something to share on Facebook, on your email newsletter, which is always very good to start, and then things like that. So, and then when it comes to SEO, you got to make sure you have 3 things in place for measuring its success. You got to make sure you have Google Analytics. And I have a whole episode. I have actually done 2 or 3 episodes on Google Analytics already. So if you want to learn more about how to use it, what it does for you, and the essential metrics that you want to look at, you can go through my library and you can find the ones there. Google Analytics, Google Search Console, that's another one. I did a recent episode on that one in December, not too long ago. You can read that one as well. And then Google Tag Manager, I guess, not necessarily metrics, but it helps you tie everything together, right? So Google Tag Manager, Google Analytics, and Google Search Console, very important to have. It helps you track everything and look at everything, and helps you understand how your SEO is working, right? So again, we're in this series on the 7 essential digital marketing techniques or tactics for law firms, and this is topic number 4, SEO and content marketing. Obviously, there's a lot in here, right? I mean, I've done a whole episode on just this. I've done multi-part episodes on just this. So I'm just trying to give you a very high-level view right now for it. So if you need more details, go to my website, corneryourmarketpodcast.com. There's a lot more information there you can find on that. I think I have a whole category on SEO and content marketing, so you can get a lot of information there. But it's a very good thing to do, on-page SEO and then posting content. So that's the 4th essential part of our series. Now let's jump to number 5. So number 5 is email newsletter. In some cases, you do let's say you do a DUI case. Hopefully that's not a repeat customer. That's not a repeat client. Might not be a good situation if it is. But I think there's still a reason to stay in touch with them, because that person might lose touch. 2 or 3 years goes by. They lose your card. They remember the vague details of that, but of their experience with you. But if you build a client database and you send them information that is very valuable, maybe some form of the same information that you have on your blog, which is actually a pretty good tactic to kind of reuse that information. But one thing that you do want to do is collect email addresses and then use a platform that allows you to segment your email list. So put them in groups, like maybe this is a DUI case, maybe this is a win case, this is a loss case, maybe this is a juvenile case, or whatever it is. However you feel like you want to segment your list, go ahead and segment your list. You can usually insert a tag in those systems. You can categorize them. In HubSpot, I've categorized my own list by industry and things like that. So all you attorneys are under my attorney list. But segment it, because your communication as the list grows can be more divided up, right? So maybe you have a list of just prospects. They want to hear something else from you, because you don't want to be selling to a client that you did business with 3 years ago. For them, maybe you send them more information that is a little bit more relevant, that can maybe spur them to referring you and things like that, right? So educational content is also very helpful when it comes to that, including tips, tricks, advice. Well, attorney, you might not want to give advice. You want to couch that. Maybe updates on the latest laws. I know, like for like estate planning attorneys, when laws change around estate planning, it's not a bad idea. You might have done an estate plan for somebody maybe 4 years ago, and there's some new things in the law that happened. So not a bad idea to send them information on that, and that might cause them to come back in to do a reconsultation or rework their plan or something like that, right? So that's also something that I would recommend. Another thing is promotional offers. I know, free consultation is kind of overused, but you could always use, free case review. We'll take a look at your case. We'll give you a second opinion and things like that. So that could also be good as well. Another thing to use email is for reviews, right? We talked about reviews in our first episode, a previous episode. I don't know how many episodes are in between, but I'll have to let my producer decide on that one. But in our previous episode, one of our episodes, in the first part of this series, we talked about reviews. So a great way to ask for reviews is through email newsletters as well. So email newsletters can work really well. Another thing that you could use email for is a solicitation of new business, which I think for attorneys may or may not be the best thing, but depending on how you're getting started and what kind of audience that you're going after, that could also work as well. So, and also on email newsletters, what you want to keep an eye on is you want to keep an eye on your open rate, although those metrics are getting deprecated, but they still give you open rates, click-through rates, your unsubscribe rates, as well as unopened rates and things like that. And so that's a good way to see whether your content is working, how well your content is doing, and all that kind of stuff. So that's the part on email. I think I rushed a little bit, so pardon me, but I felt a little rushed on the SEO content marketing side. So I know it's a little bit out of sequence, but hey, it's not like this podcast is on Spotify or anything like that. Well, it is, but it's not like it's Joe Rogan podcast. But I'm going to go back a little bit if that's okay with you guys. I'm going to go back to the SEO side because I felt like I rushed through that one a little bit. There's a couple of things that I did want to talk about in the metrics that I didn't really talk about. So a couple of things on the metrics is you want to keep on the Google Search Console. You want to keep track of the keywords that people are using to get to your site. That helps you understand what people are actually typing in to get to your site. That helps you better focus and keep it in alignment with your own keywords. So let's say you want to get people for DUI attorney in your city, but you're getting a lot of people for criminal law or something like that. And you got to ask yourself, okay, that's not a practice that I want people coming to me for. Why am I getting that, right? So anyway, that's something that you want to keep in mind. The one thing is backlinks on SEO and the search console is you want to go and look at the backlinks coming to your site because you want to disavow any backlinks that are actually harmful for you. Now, you may or may not know if this is a bad link for you or not, but back in the olden days, any link was considered to be a good link coming back to your site. But now in the modern era, post 2012, which, goodness gracious, it's already been 11 years since that update. But since that update, I think it was the Penguin update that Google did, big, huge update. A lot of people's websites tanked at that time. Now you can go and you can look at the quality of the person or the website that is linking back to your website. And now this is very important because backlinks is a very important part of SEO. And so you want to be able to disavow them. So what I would do is if there's a link, just follow the link, go to the site, see what it looks like. You can also do a domain authority check by just find a tool like SEMrush. Some of these places have a free domain authority check linker or something like that. Do a check on that backlink. And if it looks spammy and it looks like it's not really going to help you, disavow it. You can go back to Google Search Console, follow the process there for disavowing the backlink, and that'll help you keep your backlinks really in good and with high reputable sites, right? Which then brings up the strategy of getting backlinks, right? So you want to get backlinks to your website as much as possible. I would be wary of companies that reach out to you and say they can get you backlinks because, again, quality is important, not quantity. So what I would do, which is a strategy that I've recommended to a lot of law firms and attorneys, is write really, really good SEO pieces, like content pieces, like blog pieces, and offer that to, let's say, a university or to a place that maybe a financial planner, or if it makes sense, to an attorney that maybe does complimentary services, and say, hey, I wrote this for your website. Would be interested in posting it, and then put some backlinks in there for your site from there, right? So that way you're providing value to them, and then you're also getting a backlink back to you from a reputable source that allows you to then keep the quality of your backlinks very high. So that's something I missed when I went through the first round. So I apologize for skipping back to the SEO and the content marketing thing there. So Hopefully you're listening through the whole episode and you didn't just leave before I had that opportunity to get you back there. So with that, in this episode, we covered the SEO and then the content marketing piece. I group SEO and content marketing together because on-page SEO is the true SEO, but then when you're doing a content like blogging strategy accompanied with SEO, it works wonders and it's a winning strategy. I've seen it work for many people for decades. You can't go wrong. And then the fifth essential part of your digital marketing should be email newsletter. And so today in this episode, we talked about the SEO, content marketing, and then we talked about the email marketing part as well. So this wraps up our second episode in the series. In the next episode, I want to talk about social media and also talk about paid media. We'll get into the details of how you can do social media as a law firm and also how you can do paid media and all that kind of stuff as well, and what you need to look out for in that regards as well. So with that, thanks for joining me, and I wish you great marketing. And if you have any questions, feel free to drop me an email through my website at corneryourmarketpodcast.com or leave a comment if you're watching on YouTube, or and then also don't forget to leave a review if you're listening on the podcast. So thank you very much, and we'll catch you next time.